How often do you hear this? People screaming that 8GB of VRAM is trash and that you absolutely need more memory. Well, I've got two very different cards here today to test that exact idea. We have the AMD RX 9060 XT and the NVIDIA RTX 5060. This 9060 is a full-length GPU and this little 5060 is half the size because it's designed specifically for compact PC builds. The big difference maker, the 9060 XT has 16 gigs of VRAM and the 5060 only has 8 gigs. And the price gap is significant. A 16GB 9060 XT is around $460, whereas the 8GB 5060 is $330. So that's $130 difference. Surely the high cost and extra VRAM means the 9060 XT is the better card, right? Well, let's find out. For the testing rig, I'm using a super budget-friendly CPU, the Ryzen 5 5600, kept cool by this low-profile CPU cooler. For the motherboard, we're using a B55M ITX with just 16GB of RAM and a 1TB M.2 drive, all powered by a 600W SFX power supply. Everything is packed into a tiny ITX case that doesn't even have room for case fans. We're dealing with tight constraints here. The max CPU height is 69mm and the max GPU length is 300mm. The 9060 XT has the clear cooling advantage here with its huge heatsink and 3 fans. Whereas this little single fan 5060 needs a little help, so I applied an undervolt setting to keep temps low whilst maintaining stock performance. After all my game tests, for me, the RTX 5060 with 8GB of VRAM actually came out as the clear winner, mostly when you look at actual VRAM usage and overall price to performance. The majority of the games I tested ran better on the 5060, which could be because those games are simply better optimized for Nvidia GPUs. Now, don't get me wrong, having more VRAM is absolutely better. It makes a massive difference in games that are specifically built to use it, especially if you love cranking up resolutions or detail settings. But this test really highlights that not all games require a massive VRAM buffer. A lot of modern titles run perfectly fine, even when you boost the settings. It truly depends on the game. Games like Arc Raiders are so well optimized, you could buy the 5060, save that $130, and maybe put it towards a bigger storage drive. But then you run into games like Forza Horizon 5, which sometimes won't even run if you don't have enough VRAM. For those titles, the 16GB 9060 XT is essential. When you're trying to choose the right card for your own build, it really comes down to the specific games you play, and which card offers the best cost to performance ratio for those titles. Also consider the actual difference in game detail. In Battlefield 6, comparing low and overkill settings at 1080p, there just isn't that much visual difference. The overkill setting just bumps up VRAM usage for details you can barely see. In a fast-paced shooter where everything is exploding, those details are hardly noticeable. I personally lower the details, save the VRAM usage, and prioritize performance. I'm curious, which card do you currently own? Is it 8GB or 16GB of VRAM? What games do you play, and how well do they run? Let me know all about it down in the comments section below. And all the parts I used in this video will be linked in the video description. Thanks for watching.